All right, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Sheen Talk Podcast. I'm your host. I never say that. I'm your host, Michael Speciale.
I'm your host, Michael Speciale.
Like, fuck it. It's just a conversation at this point. When we get bigger, I'll be a host. I'm here with my friend, Maya Danou.
Do I have to look here?
No, look at yours. It's fine. Me and Maya and I, my bad, Miss Rizzoli, grade 3. That's how she always used to correct me. Maya and I met at university. She was my first uni friend. And I kind of want to tell how we met. I was like telling how we met because it's like the best part of like the growth of the friendship. Yeah. So we met on a Zoom call. You want to? Okay, you go explain your thing.
I remember you're the only one that talked in like most of them, and then I was like, okay, let's see, because I'm like, let's see, okay, that's like kind of like not like super basic name. I searched you up on Instagram, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I click follow. I'm like, oh, should I do that? Like, that's weird, right? But then I was like, hey, no, I'm gonna do it, right? And all of a sudden, like, you can tell that Michael's like looking through like the Maya Danou's, like he's like, who is it? And then we both kind of looked up and we're like, hey, like that's who it is.
But then, yeah, because I was like, I never really got like followers when it comes to like, I don't know, it was just surprising, caught me off guard. And I was on my Instagram and like I hate notifications, so like when I saw a notification, I'm like, oh, who followed me? And usually it's just some random like person that like unfollows like a month later. And I'm like, wow, this actually looks like a real person. And then I looked at her thing and I'm like, hold up, she looks familiar, because you were on camera and like you kind of made yourself known. Like I knew who you were, so so I was like I'm trying to match the names. I was going through the names, and then I think you were just like, I could just imagine you're just like, oh.
I was like, no. I was so scared. I literally was gonna turn my camera off, but then you're gonna be like, imposter.
So I saw you, that like you were the person that was thing. I'm like,
I was just there like,
hey! We started laughing, and then I started DMing you, and then what did we even talk about?
No, I remember the first time you called me, you're like, hey, and you're like, you want to talk about film or something like that? And then I was like, yeah.
I was super excited because that's the only reason why I wanted to get into film school is because I wanted to be surrounded by people who liked film, you know? So I think that's how we met. I think I want to get to this whole topic of this podcast is why we chose to go to school instead of like make it on our own. Yeah. Like, why film school? So, I mean, you could start. I think my audience knows why for me, but I haven't elaborated on it. So I'm going to take this chance to elaborate on it, but I kind of want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, so I kind of only started to like filming. I'm not really like you, because you like your nice like bougie like nice formal films, you know, like your nice editing, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm more of like that. Why are you staring at me?
I gotta make sure you're focused, because all my podcasts are all
they're all autofocus.
But yeah, autofocus. I don't trust autofocus. It scares me. Okay, go.
Okay, but so through like it was like grade 11, I was kind of like, ooh, like I went to Comtech, like this class, and I was like, oh my god, I love the teacher, and then I was like, oh my god, I want to do film. So sick, right? But not I think I kind of like the more colory kind of like music aspect, like not like screenwriting kind of thing. But then I was like, okay, you know what? I kind of wanted to do acting first, but then I was like, like, you know, I don't know if I feel like that's gonna be like enough for me, right? So I decided, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to film, and then I got to York, and I was like, yay, and then we met on the Zoom, and yay, and that was it.
So that exactly, like I wanted to do film obviously for like several reasons, because I had a passion for it ever since in grade 9. Yeah. But in grade 10 is where I realized whether I want to be in front of the camera or behind it. Mm-hmm. Because I always was like thinking, I'm like, okay, you know what? I like acting just as much as I like directing, but I like creating and like directing it more. I think I covered a lot on like Alessandro, the guy who's gonna be in the film. I covered a lot with him about like being a person who's always brought up and like just directing, like whether it's like playing with webcams and then putting on a production. I remember I used to put on a production with my webcams when my family was all around watching, like on like at Christmas, and I used to like put on a production like and then what I would do is I would play like Webkinz themed songs, because every time in like the musicals that I was with, every time they would change a scene, they would change the songs. So I took that idea from the musical and I played like Webkinz songs when I was changing the set.
That is so cute.
It was like, so it was ever since like when I was like, and that was what, grade 3.
You should insert the musical photo.
Oh my god. No, maybe I have the song. I'll play it right now.
And if I had none, if I had 9 lives, I would live them. I would live them all with you.
What did you play? The Christmas play?
I answered it if they saw like the Alessandro's podcast. But I'll pop it up here again. Why not? But yeah, so that's why I wanted to get into film. But I was really debating on whether I should go into school or not, because it was a big thing for me. Like a lot of people thought like, okay, make it on yourself, do it on your own. Degrees, because at the end of the day, like a degree doesn't mean shit to a director, like or a producer. But in order to get to that level, to like, oh, I like your films, I like this, you need some sort of backup. You need something for you. And I know a lot of people, no one really needs a degree for like filmmaking. You could do it on your own for sure. Many people have done it. Look at Spielberg. Like he literally just went in. I think I read something about like how he went into Disney's production and he just started filming something. Crazy, right? So I think that's why I was like indecisive when it came to like going to school, because I don't like school. Like I hate the fucking fact that like creativity is marked. Yeah. You know, I feel like creativity could be anything. Like you could do anything with creativity. How can you really mark it? How can you really put a grade on it?
I agree with you.
And I hate grading. I hate the grade system. I like creating, but also I needed structure. Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing of why I wanted to go to film.
Exactly. It's like the stability kind of thing, right? Yeah. You need a path like, hey, okay, they can give you connections. This is where, you know, you're kind of interconnected with a whole bunch of other people that are almost like-minded or have some sort of kind of like, for an example, like, you know, you like your NAS editing kind of thing. And then like I like my color kind of thing. See? And then other people like the screenwriting kind of thing, you know? And then that's it. But like, you know, I know people like, for like example, like Chase is like, you know, like amazing and like, you know, has like done like amazing things. Chase, you know Chase. Hi Chase, if you're watching.
I hope Chase is watching.
Chase, I hope Chase is watching too, because he's amazing. And he's like awesome, and he's getting himself out there and getting all those like, you know, like kind of what is
connections,
like connecting himself with like, you know, and he's amazing like already, like he doesn't need anything like that because he knows. Not to say that you don't need, like, not to say that you need it.
I think that's the main thing. It's like anyone could really make it, and at the end of the day, degree or not, it's all about like passion that drives everything. Like you could go to film school or you could not go to film school, and you could still, you know, do great in the industry. But for me, I have a very wandering mind, so I feel that when I'm doing film school, it keeps me in the moment. It keeps me in like film. It keeps me busy. Because especially now with Corona, it's so hard to do freelance because everyone's so concerned about mask and safety and everything, and shops are closing down, so what are they going to need an ad to promote them for? And so I honestly I'm not a fan of freelance, but I do understand that it's like practice at this point. But yeah, like I thought that film school was it's important to me, not because of what I'm learning, it's just that structure of like being in the industry, and like you said, connecting with people that are like-minded and finding different people. Like I love talking about film, and having people like just as much as me love talking about like the same sort of topic, same genre, I can connect with them more, especially in those discords. I mean, like most of them are distractions, but in the discords, like a lot of people are like, I'm doing this, like they're very collaborative. It's like,
share your work.
It's a really cool group to be involved in, and obviously I'll pick and choose of who I kind of want to talk to and chill with and do, but I want to be able to like have that sense of community. And like when I'm learning about this stuff, it's like applying stuff, you know, like when I'm watching film, most of the stuff that I learn in lectures, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of just in one ear out through the other, but some of it sticks. And like what I struggle with the most is script writing, like writing a script. 100%. Like I could tell a story, but I overthink a lot, and it gets me very overwhelmed, and then I just scrap it. And the only way I could like tell a story or like get a message across is like it has to be in the moment. I have to be really rushed, or it has to be like 3:00 at night, then I have a dream about something.
I think that's why the final project has no dialogue, because I think what they're going to try and like evaluate is like kind of how you really can communicate to an audience without using voice, right? Which is kind of, it is a challenge, but I think it's going to be really awesome, because it's going to show, you know, how like
your creative
people,
aspects,
right?
Like, that's
like
cool.
It does suck that you have to mark like creativity though, because you know everyone has their own kind of like vision, and if you don't like it, like for example, like Allison doesn't like Joker.
Oh my god.
But
Oh my god, hold up. So
just give that.
no, wait, hold on. So yeah, that's actually so funny. Screenwriting is probably my favorite class out of all like the classes I'm taking, because I find it the hardest, so I want to pay attention to it more. Like, I love the way they do, like, especially like Allison's tutorials are like,
I love Allison.
They're like very well thought out and very well organized.
She's so organized.
But Allison doesn't like Joker, and I quote, she goes, "All he did was be skinny and laugh." And I was...
You don't even understand? When I got on that Zoom call late, because I forgot, I think I had a driving lesson or something. And I got on, and you're like...
I was so bad.
You're pissed, and I was like, oh no.
She's
like, what's wrong? I'm texting like, what's wrong? And then after, like, the call ends, a FaceTime, he's like, oh, what the hell? Like, Allison doesn't like Joker. And then you go off to all your brothers. You're like, Allison didn't like Joker. He didn't even understand Joaquin Phoenix. And you're like freaking out. You're like screaming. You're like, I can't believe this girl. Like, it's so funny.
So I got so mad because of what? Because I love that movie so much. And I hate when people say, like, have like a really strong opinion and nothing to back it up with. And I was just so antsy because I love that film. Like, I love Joker. I feel that it was a perfect film, like a reflexive. Come on, Jillian.
Reflexive.
A very reflexive film that showed what someone goes through. It was like a film about love, showing all the hate around him. It was a mass. Come on, Allison.
Come on now.
So, but I actually love her now. Like, she's like the best. So Maya surprised. So we're on Snapchat and we were just sending a bunch of stuff.
Because we used to send them. Here, I'll do it. Or no, you want to do it? We were sending them these Bitmojis. So I was joking because obviously I love Allison, but then like these Bitmojis were so funny. So I was like, oh my god. And then look, and then this is what he wrote. He said mean things. I love Allison though.
Bitch doesn't know.
He was so mad. Like, he was so
Bitch doesn't know what's coming for her.
Look at his face. Look at your face in that. We're gonna get expelled.
No, she knows it's all for fun. She's gonna give me a fucking 40 on my
40
final
on your
script now.
script.
But yeah, screenwriting is definitely my favorite class, and I do understand. I like the constructive criticism though, like all the past Joker and stuff. It's just very bold opinion. I think that was like the first 2 classes, so I didn't know how she rolled, you know what I'm saying?
She's smart, though.
And now going through like all the classes, she's like very...
I look forward to going to her.
No, yeah. She's very straightforward.
Yeah.
She's very straightforward, which is really cool.
Yeah.
How are you liking like screenwriting in general, like actually writing and describing and everything?
It makes things actually a lot easier to me. I'm like the worst at writing. Like I don't write. I hate essays. Like English was always like so bad. So then when the way that they did it was sick, because they break it down kind of from like, you know, explain something in like 5 words, like a scene in 5 words, but then like don't just say mid-walk, like as a still images, and then you're going to the next thing, which is like the character development, then the surprise story and dread. They're basically building you, giving you like an amazing base
like
to
a
kind
template,
of create like a sick screenwriting.
I can't imagine someone like just switching their whole script if they're not kind of building their own character like around it. Because I followed my screenplay for like let's share what we're gonna write about.
Oh
yeah, I think that's really cool. We'll do that. Okay. So for me, everyone knows that I'm in love with J. Cole. So I really wanted to, so as I was writing for my assignment, my concept kits, all the things behind her right there, those are all, I wrote all those stories. So when I was figuring out the stories, I was kind of like looking around my room because I had to get some sort of inspiration. And then I was playing KOD on the vinyl. And then Once an Addict came on, which was the song about him expressing his feelings towards his mom and how his mom's like an addict, and he's like trying to avoid his mom's situation and trying to live his life without dealing with his mom, but it always coming back to him. And he covered that on Apparently Too, which was one of his famous songs back in 2014. I was like, wow, let me just write about this. Why don't I just write about J. Cole's origin story? So then I started writing, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. Yeah. And then we had to pick one of the 6 or 5 that we wrote, or 5. We could have developed another one, but I didn't really want to, right?
No.
And I decided, I'm like, you know what? I know so much about J. Cole and J. Cole's backstory and his come up and everything. Why don't I just do an origin story about him?
That's sick.
And then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm trying to think of the steps, right? So I know a pinnacle thing that he did was get signed by Jay-Z, stand outside Jay-Z's record label and get him like a CD. That's what he was doing. Like, and Jay-Z listened to that CD and he ended up signing him. It was all told in the Silent Stories album, and I was thinking, I'm like, okay, you know what? I know all this stuff. Let me do this origin story. Yeah. Let me take bits and pieces because I can't include the whole thing. So I'm going to include a couple things. I'm just going to take ideas, and instead of having it to be exactly how J. Cole kind of, his story was like, instead of using basketball, since it's in the middle of February, and the actor that I'm gonna use, which is Alessandro, he was in that podcast. He's a good skater, so I'm like, you know what? Instead of using basketball as a hobby, come up, warm up, sideline stories, a trilogy about basketball, I'm gonna use skating. The Once an Addict, like I want to use that pinnacle of like the mom not being able to pay rent. And then I remember, and like apparently he goes, and foreclose you on the loan. I'm so sorry that I left you there to deal with that alone. I was up in New York City chasing pennies, getting dumb. I don't know a clue what you was going through. How could you be so strong? And how could I be so selfish? I know I could be so Yeah, so that song, apparently, so I took that idea of foreclosing on a loan and getting evicted as like the idea of like the suspenseful moment that Vlado was talking about, like having that, right?
The dread surprise outline.
Yeah. So I took that as like a suspense of like time and like having like he needs to get this deal, otherwise he can't make it out of the hood. And I chose skating, right? A skate park instead of a basketball court as his second home, just like J. Cole did. The video called The Dreamer. That's a whole trilogy of like what he's talking about in the Silent Stories, right? So instead of using like escaping of the basketball court, I used escaping of the skate park. So I took all these ideas and I put it in a story, and honestly I'm so excited to film it because it's like I'm excited not only to film it and put it together, but I'm excited to like collaborate like with you, Chase, Francesca, like all these people that I kind of wanted to be in films or wanted to be helping me out. Now I have like a kind of a crew where I could get like your like color design and then okay, Brett.
Brett, go off, Brett.
They don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Stupid music thing.
Music assignment. We had to do an analysis, and then I don't know what the fuck we were doing, and we were just like listening to this guy, Hosh Trio, and we're just getting like the ticka TT Tots, you know?
The shrill.
Back to this movie. So yeah, I'm just excited to collaborate overall. Like that's what I'm excited. But I want you to share your screenwriting story.
Okay, it's kind of a work in progress, to be honest.
No, it's really good.
It's a little bit of a work in progress. I usually hate sharing my work, like what I'm thinking about, because then it's like a part of me.
No, it's
joking.
really
I'm just
good.
I don't know.
It's really good.
I want to do it about either like a woman or a man, like as a public figure, an influencer of some type, kind of an artist. I'm gonna say she for now. All she cares about is her fans. All the validation that she receives, like just kind of like makes her this. You know, she kind of builds herself up to be somebody like minimalist.
Full of themselves.
Yeah, she's gonna go on a retreat somewhere where she's leaving her phone. She's like, oh, like I want to break from my fans. Like I'll be back in a month, kind of thing.
She's so caught up
in
like,
herself.
Yeah.
She goes to do art in this like very secluded area and like this one home away from everyone, kind of thing. And then I kind of want it to basically be her journey, realizing that as time elapses, I kind of want the woman to feel insane. For like the first like few days, kind of like a week, she starts painting things more about like, the scenery and maybe like a person kind of like
so her paintings are like calm and nice.
Yeah, her paintings are calm and nice, that flowery kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
During this, she's kind of worried. She doesn't want to be alone.
Because she's always on her phone.
She's always on her phone, distracting.
Now she just
like me,
Now she just doesn't have anything to do.
Anything to do, right?
So she's trying to fill her time up with like painting.
Constantly looking outside the window, for an example, kind of like a freedom symbolism. She's worrying too much if there's somebody, here. She's kind of seeing things like kind of freaking out a little bit. Her paintings start to go more of herself because she's kind of looking in the mirror and being like, what am I? Like, what purpose do I have?
What am I without?
Yeah, what am I without my followers? What am I without?
We covered that in the last Olivia, 2 podcasts ago.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, but like, what am I without anything? Like, my attachment with my friends.
Yeah.
We go on?
Like, she's created such a different persona for her fans because she really doesn't know who she actually is, kind of like inside. So from there, I kind of just want it to be a constant decline until she kind of has to face herself, because that's what she's really worrying about, is herself, having to come to terms with herself and how she really is useless. Yeah, but it's gonna be kind of like not scary, but I kind of want it to be dark.
Yeah, no, it's actually like when you first told me that and you kind of like needed like help on like, what did you need help on again?
I need help on the ending.
Yeah, okay, the ending. I was thinking about, okay, well, I really like the idea of being separated from like like outside and like coming to terms with yourself and like knowing yourself and blah blah blah. So I feel like that's a perfect example of what it's like a perfect representation of what we all are. And I think the message of it is super strong. And I think the paintings of how it comes from starts being calm, and the paintings represent her inner thoughts in her head, right? And I think like the montage that you were gonna do to show the passing of time will show her really going like insanely crazy until the point where she just has to off it, right?
Well,
I mean,
we're not sure if it's
we don't know. So I posed this as like an ending. Her looking out the window and painting the scenery around her.
It's kind of a symbol of freedom.
Of freedom and all that stuff. And then as the month goes on, the window starts becoming the escape.
An escape for her.
And the end. Instead of being free, it's her demise.
Yeah.
And I think at the end, she should be like out the window and like
looking
like
at it,
debating whether she should jump or not. And I think that's like it is such a good but they don't know whether she does it or not.
I don't think any of us know.
And we don't know.
We don't know either.
So like
it's reflexive.
It's a reflexive film. It's a very reflexive film, and I think that it could be really easily done without dialogue. Yeah, it's honestly like I would like after like telling you like mine, I was like damn, because I like the metaphorical films rather than like a story like a based on a true story. I like getting like the knowledge of like, oh, that's what it meant, right?
Yeah, you want to feel like you did something when you when you watch a movie.
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, like I figured this out.
Like Vlado said. It's actually a real one.
I love Vlado.
But yeah, so I want to kind of cover like the creative process in freelance. I mean, I know you don't freelance. Like the video that you did on your Instagram with all the colors and stuff.
Yeah, that's not competition.
That was really cool though.
Thanks.
But you still have that in mind. For me, I want to know what you think about this. Like when I do videos for other people, personally, I hate freelancing.
Yeah.
I just like, I really like. I know it's for quick cash, for quick money, and I think that's the only thing that you really could do it for. Is just in order to finance yourself and your dreams, you have to do a bit of freelancing. Sure. What I like about it, experience, the fact that I learn a lot more when I'm doing it. I learn how to film, right? More than just studying. I'd rather get out there and do stuff and like even if I get paid dirt cheap, it's just the fun of creating this and experience. Because I value experience over money right now. But the creative dilemma, it's when you think your work is so good, you give it to them with like intentions of this is the best I think I could do. And then they come back and they say change this, and this. And you're like, fair, because my job is to please the person that's paying me to do it. That's my job, right? And if I didn't satisfy them, then I didn't do my job right, and I personally can't go on, right? But it's the fact of I did the best I can. This is what I think. I wouldn't submit it if I half-assed did it, you know? I did the best I can. And then they bring it back and they say, oh, correct this, and this. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Correct it. Bring it back. Okay, I want you to correct this, and this. And then it just starts funneling down to where it's not even your work anymore. And you kind of feel like, damn, like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that especially if they're like paying you, I think it's like, you have to, even though it sucks.
That's why I hate the freelance
work. I know, because you love the creativity. You love the creative. I get that. But I think that as long as they're happy with what you're putting out, even though they're saying critique, their vision is not going to be switched because they have something in their head that they cannot change. Even though if your work is better than their idea and their vision, it's something that they can't change because they have something in their head that they really want to feel. Like they want to evoke that kind of emotion in them. You know?
Yeah, I understand that part, and I totally agree. Like if I'm not pleasing them with whatever work I put out, I want to change it. Like it's for sure. I think it's less of the business, more the creative. Like I'm not focusing on the business side. I get it. You pay me to do a video. You want it the best you can because you want your money's worth, right? Or in general, just like you want a good video, and I want a good video for you. So I'm on the same page when it comes to that. But I just think over time, I wouldn't see myself doing freelance for the rest of my life.
I understand that.
That's what I want to get to. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it because it's just, I want to work collaboratively on something bigger rather than just doing small gigs.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want, I understand that I need to do small gigs in order to build myself up.
Yeah.
That I understand. It's just, it's like, I don't want to do my homework, but I want to do good on a test.
But think of it this way, right? Because then if you're doing, even though it's like something that you hate so much.
But I don't even hate it. It's just, I know, it's just, I just don't like how, like, just, you don't get the
breath. It's not the breath.
It's not the shrill, man.
It's not the shrill, no? Like, that's the thing. It makes sense. I totally agree. I get, because I know, like, that sucks when someone's like, like, you should change this, but it's like, oh, but
because it's like discouraging,
you did it for this, yeah? But then, you know what? Like, again, like you said, it's all a part of the experience. It's so awesome that you get to work and deal with different people, because it's just like studying for a test, you know? Like, like you're going to be working with so many people that, you know, you don't really enjoy to, like, be with, kind of thing, or you don't really like working with, or they're really hard to kind of deal with. But it just prepares you for that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
So I consider things a lesson or a blessing, right? That's what my friend Nicole Cax, she told me that. But,
that's a good quote. Like
she considers things, so for an example, like if you loved working with somebody, for an example, for like a shoot, you'd be like, oh, like that was so awesome, like it's like a blessing for you, right? Because then you enjoy it, you guys both get something out of it. But if you have somebody that's giving you kind of a bit of a hard time, for an example, or you just don't connect, and you know you end up finishing it off, like even though it takes a long time, consider it a lesson, right? This is something for when you deal with somebody like that again, you'll know how to kind of weave your way through it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I'm on your side totally. I think all creators could talk about that. Don't get me wrong, I get the fact that like first drafts are not the final draft, for sure. Like it can't, because it's just that's what I think is good, and then it's a 2-point thing, right? 2-person thing, especially with films. Most directors hate their first draft of their film because it's just like not what they imagined, what they expected. But there needs to be those tweaks. There needs to be those nitty gritty things that you have to change. And I totally get that. What I'm going for is just, it sucks thinking that like in your head it's like the best, and then revising it and it's just be like, damn, why didn't I think I could have done better? It's one of those, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm explaining and trying to get through, yeah.
I get what you
mean. It's like, why didn't I think that before?
Well, because then because you put so much time and effort, you're like, oh my god, it's good. And then, you know, you look through it, you're already noticing all the good kind of things, like, oh, sick. And then someone kind of looks and is like, no.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? And then it's like, because it does suck.
Yeah,
like, why suck?
It's like, but it makes sense. It just sucks. It's like working so hard for tests, studying for so long, and then getting a bad mark. Yeah. It's like, fuck, why did I study?
What the bad test?
Yeah. Wow, I thought I could only get like the baby voice on FaceTime.
Yeah, I know.
It's
the snort voice.
It's the snort voice. Dude, I wish you wore the necklace.
I should have now, but I didn't think. I think it'd be weird if I came on here. I was thinking.
What's your goal at the end of film school? Because I know I want to be like watching this and like
we should do this after 4 years.
After 4 years and like do it again.
Oh, we should do it every year, like Billie Eilish.
Oh my gosh, I actually love those videos. It's so cool. Yeah. But the last one's like 30 minutes. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I didn't. I just like looking at her hair changing color.
Yeah, what do you want to get out of film school? What's your main goal?
I think I want to learn, because I know absolutely nothing about like I feel like camera work and that kind of stuff, and different, like I like doing the lighting stuff, but like, you know, I'm not like, you know, I don't really know.
You have no definitions.
I have no really definitions. I don't really know, like, you know,
ISO.
view of your setup. ISO, like I don't know how to do that. Like I feel so. Let's not freaking bring that.
Huh? You don't know how to use manual mode?
What's manual mode? It's like it's just click. Like I just click it. Like that's it. Like that's just what I am. So I know nothing right now, right? So I'm kind of going to learn. I want to learn more. I want to know what the hell I want to do.
Yeah.
I really kind of was thinking about animation a lot, but I don't think I'd be fine here. But maybe after, I kind of wanted to do something like that. I just want to know if I like screenwriting, directing.
So you kind of just funneling.
I want to figure out what the hell I want to do.
Yeah, because I'm in it for directing, obviously, but I think we're in it for two different things, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in it to like figure out what you want to do and funnel your way in, and I'm in it for connections, networking, and being surrounded by people who like the same thing I'm into. And like obviously I want to learn too. Like I think the most important thing, when I was debating whether I should go to film school or go to freelance, right? Do it on my own, right? I was thinking, oh, I could do it on my own. I don't need a degree. At the end of the day, if they like your work, they don't need a piece of paper to back it up. And you don't. No. You really don't.
No, you don't.
But back to what I was saying, structure. Yeah. It's all about structure. It's to be 4 years of my life. I'm young. I have things to do. I have things to figure out. Mm-hmm. I could afford to take these 4 years and have structure and build connections, because at the end of the day, whether degree or not, it's all about passion. It's all about pushing, and you will succeed if you want to succeed. And I hate when people say, like, I just bought the camera off this guy, and I was talking to him, and I'm like, what did you do? Because you never know. He's selling a camera. I asked him.
He's gonna watch this.
Cool. No, I'm shutting out though. I'm shutting out. Hold up. That's not diss. But he was talking about, because I wanted to like collab with him or maybe network. I don't know. You always gotta network. Because he was talking to me like, oh, I'm like, why did you sell the camera? And he goes, oh, because I have 3 other cameras. This one's just an extra one. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so this guy must be doing a lot of videos. And then I saw his work, really, really good.
Really?
And yeah, but he just freelances work. She just told me straight up. He was like, he's like 21 or something. He told me straight up. He goes, yeah, I'm just freelancing just to get like pay my bills, bro. Like just to get cash. I need quick money, and I'm using my skill in order to like flip it and like as a benefit. And I totally get that. It's just and then when he asked me, he's like, yeah, what are you doing? And then I was just like, I don't know. I do so much. I told him I do YouTube, right? And I told him I do podcasts. I told him I do freelance work. I do everything right now. But I don't like freelancing. I just kind of want to be a filmmaker. And then he goes, oh yeah, little boy, you want to be a filmmaker? Wow, like, and it's such a. You're like, I get how it came off though. It came off like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing YouTube and I just want to be in the film industry.
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber.
I'm a YouTuber and I'm gonna make feature films one day. But.
With Specialty Studios.
Told him, I was like, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker. And he goes, yeah, but you're gonna have to do freelance anyways. You're gonna have to build up to it. And I got it. But I think a lot of people, when they're just so discouraged when it comes to like making it. And it's like, I know it's scary.
I know.
Sometimes I think of it, I'm like, how about if I don't make it? Yeah. And I want to be able to like do everything that I'm saying right now. And I want to like be able to like come full circle, but I don't know for sure because it's the future. Like, and I remember like writing something down because I was having like these thoughts of like, film and everything. It was like end of high school, it was like first semester when I had photography, and I just got really beaten down from my photography teacher about like constructive criticism. He just tore my video apart.
I remember that.
And I just sat and I used to go to the gym after school, and I just sat in the change room, and I was just like. Super down. I was like, damn. And then I started thinking about like, how about if I don't make it? How about this? How about if there's people in the industry that not gonna like my work? I was like super chaotic. So I start writing things down. And then like I told you before and said many times, when I write it down, if I'm writing a whole paragraph and I'm not stopping, then this thought is useful. But if I stop midway and I kind of lose it, it should be brushed off, right? Yeah. So I was writing down about film and not being able to make it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I was just writing all my thoughts. And then I stopped. And it all cleared. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I just moved on. Yeah. So like that taught me right there, more of a story is, you're going to have these doubts. You're going to have these thoughts.
It's normal.
But brush them off, move on, and just keep going. And one day, it will work out for you. True. I don't know if you know Peter McKinnon. No, maybe not. Peter McKinnon, he's a filmmaker. Probably a lot of people know him that are watching mine. He was my role model because he was Canadian, and he was like the Casey Neistat of Canada. That's what I pictured him. Casey Neistat is another filmmaker in New York.
This is like why I'm in New York right now. Shit.
So they're both YouTubers, and they're both really cool with how they like do their shots and stuff. And they inspired me throughout high school and elementary school and during like my YouTube days. Alex, the guy was my first podcast. Alex, the stylish guy. Yeah. Alex met him because his mom was a manager for a commercial he was shooting, and I was staying up late because I really, really wanted to like face him and talk to him. But it was like 4:00 he finished the shoot in the morning, and I was like, I didn't stay up till long. And then Alex just asked the question. My question was, how do you make it? And they all said the same thing. Do what you do best. Do what you love best, and then the people will just form around you, and it will work. And I saw him grow from this. I remember subscribing him at like 100K, And now he's at like 5.5 million, like 4 years later,
Yeah.
getting jobs for like Honda, making videos, product reviews, traveling the world, like having fun while doing what he loves.
Enjoying.
And it's like, I could do that too. Well, but my thing is, will I like doing that? Or do I want to make big budget films and go on like Hollywood?
Yeah, you want to do
like in 4 years, am I going to be like, fuck film, fuck Hollywood. I don't want to do big budget. I want to do YouTube. How about this blows up, right? How about if I'm a fucking I got all these like subscribers and I'm like I've blown up and I have like a fucking whole studio for this podcast and like all this all this stuff that I'm like envisioning and like kind of mentally like, okay, it's gonna happen, putting in my head, manifesting in my head, law of attraction. It worked before, so hey, I'm just gonna try to just do it, keep going at it. And maybe an Oscar is not really what I want. Maybe the Oscars are gonna be so washed out like the Grammys are, right? I don't know, and that's why it scares me to the point where it's like, am I going to want an Oscar? Is this my life goal? Like, am I gonna chase this and then it's just gonna be like I'm gonna feel empty when I get it? Like, I don't know, and that's I don't know. It's kind of like, what do you think? I mean, you don't have like that major like I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. I just feel like I have a life goal.
Yeah, you're like,
and I'm like showing myself how to do something, and I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do, and if I don't do it, I'm gonna fucking suck.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think you're gonna freaking flippin' hope to suck. But I think what you like, you love achieving. You like the goals. You're a go-getter always, hard worker. I know that because every single time I'm like, hey, can you please help me with all this? You're like, I'm editing a podcast.
Hey, I don't say that. I help you. It's when you distract me.
Oh.
It's when you call me for no reason and you go, no, don't leave, no. And I'm like, what? I'm fucking doing a lecture.
Because I feel bad that I'm not doing work. So I'm like, hey, are you doing work? You're not doing work. Ha! I feel better.
I'm not doing work. Yeah, so I think the future is scary, but I think the best way is just to like live in the moment and just like, why am I always like looking forward and like go getter? It's just like, you know, just fucking live in the moment, enjoy what I'm doing in film right now, what I'm learning, and
you don't need to know yet.
Yeah, right? I don't, but I want to. I think that's the thing.
I know.
I just want to know everything, and I can't.
You want to know your whole like future already.
I want to know everything outlined, everything planned, and it just doesn't work like that. And I think that's why I just get frustrated. I'm like, but it's okay. I'm very aware that I can't know everything, but I still want to know everything.
Right. And
that's the problem. But it's okay because every time I want to know everything, I set myself, I'm like, you know what? Everything can't be known. That's a lot of no.
No, I just think it's okay that, you know, you don't need to know everything right now. I think trust the process. Trust the process.
Come on.
Process.
You definitely say caramel.
No, I say caramel.
Good. If you say caramel,
I'm gonna get off the podcast, get beat up with the lights.
Yeah. Good job. Let's go. Me and mine have known each other for 3 months.
Yeah. Wait. October, November. 3 months. Well, September, October, November.
It's
4 months.
the start of December. So yeah. When they see this, it'll be the end of December.
It'll be end of December.
But yeah, we've known each other for 3 months, and for now, it's going good. I hope we can watch. I hope we can watch back in 4 years and be like, look how fucking clueless we were.
I know. And now us, we're like either depressed or we're like, yeah.
Fuck yeah, we got like award-winning film or something together.
At like, that'd be sick.
Dude. Could happen.
Yeah. Could happen, dude.
The fuck is that? Anyways, you want to plug anything before you go?
At Maya Dan, actually don't know how to pronounce my last name. It's either Danou, or like Danou. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's like Speciale, or
Special. Danou.
Okay,
cool.
Plug your fucking Instagram. We're gonna get the shit out going. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. Thank you for coming on. This is so much fun. Okay, bye.